Hello, hello. Hope everyone is having a nice evening. Yeah, we are starting a bit later. Sorry about that. Actually got out of work at a decent time, but then played some Magic. That was fun. What? Pixel Paladin, thank you for the raid. Hi, Nano Cloud. Thank you for bringing some friends. Give me 1 second here. Let me... Oh, thank you for the follow as well. Just went ahead and threw out a shout out, so go ahead and hit them a follow if you haven't. I'll go ahead and hit you back with one. Yeah, the affiliate grind is long and interesting, that's to say the least. But yeah, hope everyone's having a good night. Yeah, as I said, starting a little bit later, but trying to knock out some more Tsukihime, especially because I did have to cancel yesterday's stream because I was very eepy. This one. Okay, what were we doing? We are hunting for a vampire with Arcwade. And we are walking around without our glasses, because this is fun. Forgot. I actually need to be reading stuff that's not voiced. Arcwade and I walk side by side through the crowds. It's the first time since I was hospitalized that I've walked around like this, with the lines in full view. I don't feel any dizziness as of yet. Simply seeing them doesn't give me too much of a headache. But while I can look at the thin lines on the buildings just fine, every glimpse of the lines tracing the people we pass makes me feel sick. Disgust surges within me. It's not the sight of their line-covered bodies that makes me feel this way. It's the unwelcome knowledge that humans can die so easily that forces bile up my throat. We continue our search. Arcwade takes each step confidently, never saying a word. We spend around 2 hours checking prominent places close to the station. Sorry, I had to adjust the mic. But in the end, we don't find anyone resembling that clump of lines from earlier. Oh yeah, we killed a zombie. That was cool. Or Arcwade killed it, but you know.
Shiki, メガネをかけていいわ。やっぱりもう今夜の死者はいないみたい。
I do like that not just the lines, but it also gets like that kind of blue filter. Nice little extra visual layer there that I appreciate. I put on my glasses. My vision returns to normal, and I breathe a sigh of long-awaited relief. Oh, well, thank you for asking. I'm doing just fine. Before stream, I just wrapped up playing my first game of Commander, Magic the Gathering. Thought I would give that a shot, because I usually play Yu-Gi-Oh!, but I thought this upcoming format is honestly filling me with a lot of dread, so I was like, let's play another card game for a breath of fresh air. And that was a lot of fun. I had 2 people who were really good at the game and also very patient, so it was overall a really fun game and a lot closer than I was expecting. I was expecting to get walled, but thankfully it was actually a lot closer than I expected. Because what was it? I was playing against Lux and Ray. Lux they were playing a spirit deck. Ray was playing zombies, and I was playing... what's this fucker called? Kinessos. I was playing a Kinessos blue deck with a lot of Leviathans. That was really fun. Especially when I put up... what's his name? I'm going to find it, because I have the deck list actually still open in Chrome. Stormtide Leviathan. Shoutouts to that guy. That guy is the GOAT. Oh no, like Magic, I can see how it would make you very toxic, especially in like a commander format where there's like multiple people. Like that can very easily lead to some very funny for me, but horrifically ruinous for other people. Um, I put on my glasses. My vision returns to normal, and I breathe a sigh of long-awaited relief. Oh, don't worry. Magic is thankfully. I was gonna say it's not too hard to get into, but I also I know a lot of like I played a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh, and so a lot of those skills actually did transfer over really well. So it's probably why I was having less because even they were like, "Oh, you're picking up on things really fast." I'm like, "No, yeah, like translating Magic stuff like from my Yu-Gi-Oh knowledge was actually easier than I was expecting."
そんな簡単に見切りをつけていいのか。まだ1回しか街を見回ってないけど。
うん、一度見回れば十分よ。気配っていうのはね、多少はその場所に残留するものなの。でも町には死者の気配がどこにもなかった。食料を調達する死者はさっきので最後だったのかも。ここからはもう一段階上の死者を潰していくわ。
不機嫌そうだな、アルクエイド。
当然でしょ。せっかくシキがいてくれるのに空振りなんだもの。はあ。かっこいいとこ見せようと思ったの。
No, yeah, like it is very funny how much I'm like, oh yeah, it is just still called the graveyard, and you still do have like your main phase, your combat phase, your main like so much of it was so similar. I was surprised. The thing that honestly tripped me up the most going to Magic was in Yu-Gi-Oh you do your draw phase and then your standby phase, whereas in Magic you kind of do it the opposite. Like you do your upkeep and stuff before you draw for the turn, which was really took me a couple of seconds to get used to. Huh. Can't say I expected that to be the reason.
まあ、俺は無駄骨でも気にしないけど、そんなにご不満なら、もう一度街を回っても構わないぞ。俺も今度は意識を集中してみる。もしかしたら何か見つけられるかもしれない。
I'll see. Thankfully, I didn't have strict parents, but I had very poor parents. So, like, I got like a pack of Yu-Gi-Oh cards at the supermarket, like when we went, and that was as much of the cardboard as I was allowed to get, basically, and like a starter deck here and there.
ダメよ。今夜はこれ以上あなたに無理はさせられない。
無理って、別に俺は無理なんか。
してるのよ。シキ本人は気がついてないだけ。今だって顔色すごく青いし。ほら、ベンチに座って少しは楽になるんでしょ。
She guides, or rather pushes me, down to the bench. Truthfully, I'm about ready to throw up, so I'll take a seat for a bit. The relief is such that I accidentally let out a sigh. All the tension I'd bottled up was released the moment I sat down. Guess I really was pushing myself too hard.
ありがとう。助かった。でも、これぐらい今までの頭痛に比べたら軽度だぞ。意識を保っていられないめまいに比べれば危ないこともないんだし。
God, when was it? I think it must have been like middle school when I got it. I remember I got the Agents structure deck. That actually like got me back into like very casual Yu-Gi-Oh with like friends for a little bit, but I didn't come back until God, when did I start playing? Like I think it must have been like around COVID times, like because everyone was inside and I didn't have much else to do. Quacks, you have given me a very funny idea if I ever got like art done. My nausea will fade if I breathe in the fresh night air. Next to Arquade's wound, this is nothing. She doesn't need to worry so much about... Arquade?
弱い生き物のくせに無理はしないで。失神しなければ軽度。それは間違いよ。あなたの目に軽いも重いもない。あまり見えないものを見ようとしないで。そんなに脳を酷使したら廃人になりかねないわ。
怪人って誰が？
あなたがよ。どうしてそんなに危機感がないの？こんな希少な魔眼持ちなのに平和主義者とか美味しい獲物にも程があるし、よく今まで生きてこられたわね。ひょいってつまんで食べられるわよ普通。
Oh yes, that old deck with the very funny monster that needed an emergency errata. Because they originally printed it wrong. Because originally it had to be special summoned by some specific means to get its really good effect, where it sends Umi to make everyone bin everything in their hand and graveyard, or field to the graveyard. But originally, on the first printing, it didn't have the summoning restriction, so... Yeah, so here, let me see if I can... Here we will, God damn it, I hate WebP so much. Just let me save things as JPEGs. There we go. Okay, so... So this is what the card was supposed to say. Like, from when it was first printed. So it was supposed to be special summoned by attributing a Levia Dragon Daedalus. Now... Here's what was printed in the first print of the... Oh yeah, I have a Chrome extension to, like, convert stuff. I just never expect it. Here's what was printed in the first print of that structure deck. Now, do you see how maybe one of these is slightly better than the other? Just gonna leave these here for a second. Because I think Levia Dragon Daedalus is also, like... I think that also has, like, its own specific summoning condition, which makes it, like, a pain. No, that one's fine, but that's also just a level 7, so... A lot of work. Yeah, it's funny. I think if you actually go back, you can find, like, an ancient online article where it's, like, emergency recall before a European event, where it's like, you guys need to send your cards back and we'll send you the right ones. Very funny. Where on earth would that be normal? And hey, I'd appreciate it if she gave the nations of the world a little credit. Even if she wants to call us complacent, it's kind of amazing that law and order prevails as much of it as it does.
わかった。あんまり言いたくなかったけど、ちゃんと説明してあげる。いい？四季は生物の死は見やすくて、鉱物の死は見にくいって言ってたでしょ？それはね、結局はあなたの脳の回線の問題なの。物の死、その因果を見るということは、実際は見ているではなく、読んでいるという意味合いに近いわ。すべての事象には大元になった原因、絶対の一がある。この宇宙の始まりにしておしまいの地点。そこには全てを記録したものがある。記録というよりはあるものだから、情報とは呼べない。ただあるだけ。それ自体に意思はないし、方向性もありえない。原因を垂れ流しているだけの根源の渦みたいなものね。
I'm not sure how rare of a card it is, considering it was a structure deck, like, so you're literally guaranteed one of those in every first print of that structure deck, but wouldn't be surprised if it's at least, like, a little bit.
この世界にあるものは、その渦から流れ、派生して、今の形に行き着いたわ。私も四季も、吸血種も人間も、元はそこから始まった原子に過ぎない。もう離れすぎ、複雑になりすぎてしまって、 原因である始まりに戻ることはできないけど、とにかくそういった位置があるのはわかるでしょ。でもね、たとえどんなに大元からかけ離れた形になっても派生した存在である以上、とても
Oh no, yeah, it would definitely be really cool just to like hold on to for sure. Definitely be a fun little piece of the collection.
すべての根源、すべての始まりと終わりを記録したレコード。それとつながっているものは物事の終わりを知っていることになる。高等動物の脳は受信と送信を司る機能なんだけど、大抵の人間はその回線が自分に対してのみで閉じてしまっている。けど中には潜在的に回線が開いている人間もいる。何の魔術回路も利用せず、超越種でさえないのに超常現象を可能とする人間。
So basically, some people are just built different.
これをね、魔術師たちは超能力者って区分している。人間でありながら生まれついて何らかの魔術回路そのものという突然変異体。例えば何の神秘も学んでいないのに物の死を見てしまう人間とかね。
Sorry, Arquaid. I appreciate you explaining all this to me, but my brain barely understood a word. Me during, like, maybe, like, not quite a third. Yeah, like a third. Maybe like a third of Nasu's lore dumps on, like, power systems. Most of it comes across fine, but it's just, like, that last little bit where I'm like, yeah, man, you sure did say some words.
いいわよ、式は理解なんかしなくて。言っておきたいのは、あんまり見えにくいものを自分から見ようとしちゃダメってこと。私は見えないから断言はできないけど、式が見てしまってるものは線だけじゃないはずよ。あなたには線の他にその起点である点も見えているんじゃない？
And granted, he gets a pass because it's like 1/3 not got, 2/3 got. If it was the other way around, that would not be getting a pass, because I need to at least understand how, like, have some understanding of how shit works. It's exactly as she says. Sometimes, when I strain my eyes, the lines seem to form a single point. I saw something like that at the last moment with Vlav. Now that I think back, it wasn't just with Vlav. The shock may have shut my brain off from reality, but I know they were there.
そうだ。あの時、お前を殺した時も確かに点が見えてた。
Like blood vessels, maybe. If the lines are blood vessels, then the points are whatever brings them forth.
物の死にやすい線とその死。なんでしょうね、それ。式はその気になれば鉱物の死を見ることだって可能だと思う。けどそのために脳が生物の範疇から鉱物の範疇に回線を開いて鉱物の死を知ろうとしてしまう。それは本来ありえない運動よ。脳は過負荷を起こして式は間違いなく使い物にならなくなる。
Past the point of no return, huh?
それはこの目が死を見なくなってくれるってこと？
まさか。ねえ式、無茶をしてオーバーブローしたエンジンはどうなるのかしら。
そりゃあジャンク行きだろ。一度でも焼き付いたエンジンは二度と使い物にならな。
Bro finally got it. Ah, I see. The headaches I get when I see death are the cries of an engine overheating.
わかった。ただ見えているだけなら問題はないでしょうけど、見えないものを見ようとするのだけはやめて。せいぜい血管が破裂して脳に負荷がかかるぐらいにとどめておきなさい。その先に踏み込んだら生きながらにして石になるなんて末路になりかねない。
What a sentence.
そのメガネを作ってくれた魔術師には感謝しないとね。大抵の超能力者は自分の力がどんなに危険なものか知らずに使用して自分から廃人になってしまうから。まあ人間でありながら人間の社会では生きられない存在的不適合者だから、その方が幸せなのかもしれないけど。
どうやらそれが私がここに来た理由のようだし、私が君を以前の生活に戻してあげる。
That's what Master told me when she made me these glasses. I owe her so much it hurts to think about. That day, she saved me in more ways than one. I wouldn't be here without her.
ところで
Arcade materializes right in my face as I'm in the middle of ruminating. This isn't good for my heart. I wish she'd let me have a moment, considering what we just talked about.
なんだよ。メガネならもう渡さないぞ。
そうじゃなくて、これからどうする？もう死者は出てきそうにないし、今夜はここでお別れにする？
It's 11 o'clock. My curfew was ages ago. I'll... Ooh. Listen. If we've already broken curfew, I feel like... Why you're already there? You're already at the party. I'll talk with Arkwade a little longer. There's still so much I don't understand, despite already having decided to help hunt this vampire.
いや、まだ吐き気が収まらないし、落ち着くまでここにいるよ。その間、お前に聞きたいこともあるし。
Yeah, like I never had a set curfew, like basically as long as I was back home before it was like too late, or if I was like as long as I was somewhere that like I told my parents where I was. But like it was never like 7 p.m. your ass better be in this house, otherwise no TV, or like stuff like that. Thankfully. That shit just I mean, like, I would go over to like my friends' houses and stuff, like spend the night or something. Nothing like I wasn't like hanging out like on the street or nothing, but like especially like in summer, like when sun's up super late, like you could stay out until like 8:30 or so, and like there would still be light. So like as long as I was home before it was like super dark, like. And also like God, what was it? I had a cell phone by the time I was like in middle school, so like that's another thing where it's like, okay, cool, I could just like literally text my parents at any time and be like, yep, here I am.
街の巡回は無理でも、それぐらいならいいだろ
そう私はいいけど、式はいいの？人間って夜は眠くなるんでしょ？
う。別にいいよ。もともと眠るのは苦手だし。
Saving that one for later, because that one is sadly too relatable.
苦手ってことは不眠症？
いや、寝つきはいい。単に好きじゃないってこと。
Okay, never mind. This guy's a freak. I don't know what's wrong with him.
ふん。夢は見ないの？
Dream? Oh,
いや、寝つきはいい。単に。
so this guy can fall asleep no problem. He just doesn't like sleeping, which it's like, dude, are you stupid? Sleep is awesome. Granted, I work physical labor, so like, I kind of need that shit to actually keep me alive, but still. I already don't get enough sleep, but like... Yeah, it's like, that's the problem. It's like, I need more sleep, but also, my insomniac ass is literally just laying there like, talking to myself, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. And it never works. It literally all it does is just keep you up more. Because you have to, quote-unquote, naturally fall asleep. But when you're focusing on naturally falling asleep, that shit just doesn't happen. You're just keep, like... And then you start thinking about stuff, you're like, oh, let me think about that funny tweet I saw, or oh, let me think about this show I watched. And then it's 1 a.m., and you're still not asleep. Moving on. This is getting a little too sad. Dream? I'm not sure how to answer that.
とにかく、0時までは付き合う。そっちが話ずくめで疲れてるなら、このまま帰るけど。
全然疲れてない。むしろ全力で受けて立つわ。
そうなんだ。元気があって羨ましいけど、勢い余って暴れ出すなよ。
そんな無駄なことするわけないし。
I love this face.
もう、式は私のことなんだと思ってるの？なんか誤解してない？
大丈夫。そこは完璧ブレてない。アルクエイドのことは手加減のできないやりすぎ吸血鬼だと思ってる。
Time to barrage her with questions. What do I want to know about? Vampires in as much detail as possible. I feel like we kind of already covered that with the big lore dump. Oh. I can't ask number 2. It literally is like forcing me to choose between 1 and 3. Interesting. Ooh, maybe that's something that gets saved for the CL route. Because there was another choice like that earlier in the game where it popped up with 2 choices, and it only let me choose one of them. I mean, I already know about vampires, so like, hey, Arquade, hey girl, what was up with your sick drip? I can't take this song seriously because I just remember, like, back when the remake first came out in Japan, there was just a video with this song with Arquade's just like smiling sprite where it's just like, you know this bitch ain't having any thoughts. And I'm like, yeah. This is a good chance to ask. No, the best chance. And I've actually been insanely curious about it.
ブローブと戦っていた時に着てた服見せて。
Yep. I had a feeling she'd look at me like that. But I just can't get that image out of my head.
あの時は遠くにいたからよく見えなくて。なんか今と違う服装になってなかった。
With all my being, I muster a tone suggesting simple scientific curiosity. If Arquade thinks I have ulterior motives, that's on her.
ああ、ブローブ対策で表面を変えていた時のこと？疲れるからやりたくないんだけど、レシピはまだ残してるから。
Recipe?
はい、これでいいの？
She's purty. All good, she asks, as if the sight before me wasn't positively breathtaking. Okay, Shiki, he has a leg thing now. I don't know how much of this was there in the original, but like between this and also the option to check out CL's legs specifically, dude, like, I'm not gonna fault him for it. I think it's just funny. There stands her beautiful flowing form. Soft gloves envelop her arms in a silken embrace. The shoulders are open, revealing gorgeous, immaculate skin. So this is what it's like to be at a total loss for words. Achingly beautiful is the only phrase that comes to mind to describe the alabaster vision. Ooh, I love that word. Same, dude. An incomprehensible groan of admiration escapes from my lips. It's hard to believe the thing before me is the same vampire who's caused me nothing but trouble today. That is the exact noise where you're like, you're at the store and you're like, oh, let me check out this super cool expensive thing. Like, you know you can't buy it, but just staring at it makes it so much worse. You're like, ugh. Oh, man. I wonder if she wouldn't come back to the mansion wearing that. That would certainly be something to see.
これ、私の選択ミスだから、あんまり好きじゃないんだけど。
Listen, for as much as I'm calling you out, I am calling myself out. I live right next to a computer store. Trust me, the number of times I go in there and I see some of the pre-builts they've got on display. Oh, man.
ブローブの原理が寒さだと見抜いていれば、もっとあったかいイメージで固めてたわ。
Hi, Meeflet. Yes, Arquade in her really good dress. How's it going? Now that she mentions it, the air does feel colder around her. It almost looks as if glimmering crystals of ice are swirling in the air.
そっか。耐熱仕様なんだもんな。そりゃ冷房機能もついてるか。
そう、くれぐれも触らないでね。触れると式も凍っちゃうから。
This is day 7. So this is day 7. Actually, I thought I was still on chapter 6. I'm gonna update the title. But yeah, we are on day 7. I did play the original. I played it a long time ago. I played it like, God, close to 10 years ago now, though, so it has been a minute since I've played through all the original. But I have. I've been really enjoying this so far. If anything, I am just even more sad that I have to wait for the second game to get to the Far Side routes, because Kohaku, my beloved. My nipples are freezing.
これは私自身の守りじゃなくて、グローブに組みついた
Oh yeah, this
炎を
POV is
消すため
definitely
に作ったものよ。
suggestive. The best defense is a good offense, huh? How very like Arcade. Still. And I hate to admit this, she really is a princess.
もう、何を難しそうな顔して。もしかしてシキ、私の失敗を見て楽しいの？
そんなわけあるか。これが失敗なら世の中の9割は失敗だ。普段からこの格好はダメだよな。目立ちすぎる。第一、他のやつに見せるなんてとんでもない。これは俺だけの特権だ。
Bro? Oh no, yeah, like, he was eyeing up CL, in her first scene. That was very funny.
そう？じゃあ気に入ったってこと？
The realization of what I've just said crashes over me like a wave. Because of the sight in front of me, I fail to stop myself from saying something so stupid.
まあ、それなりに。一緒に戦うとき、お前がいろいろできると頼りになるだろう。
Beeflet, thank you for the follow. Something, anything to salvage this. It seems she's happy to be a big help. Ah, Sojiro, my beloved. Torn. I'm diametrically torn as an individual between wanting Tsukihime Remake 2 and Nasu to get off his ass and make a sequel to Mahoyo. But, we will simply be waiting.
もちろん、私基本的に万能だから。
Sojiro is possibly one of the funniest characters ever made.
殺すことしか脳のない式を最大限にサポートするね。
Maybe I went a little too far. Now I'm pretty sure she intends to launch me at our enemies like a tennis ball. Honestly, it may be my fault for coming up with such a crazy plan when we fought Lov. I know for FGO, at the very least, they said they've had plans for 10 years, so we're hitting year 9, so we're definitely we're closer to the end than we are to the start, that's for sure. Especially because, I don't know, I feel like they kind of milked it for all it's worth. I don't even know what they're going to do after the current, like, JP story.
ところで、その服名前とかあるのか?
And you know what? For as much pain as FGO has caused me personally, I would very much like to thank it for giving them the budget to make, like, the super high fidelity Tsukihime remake. I did not stream Mahoyo. I played that one on my own time. So unfortunately, do not have blind reactions to that. Which is, I am honestly a bit sad about. God. That game had me crying, laughing, and also, like, legitimately tearing up, like, at multiple points. Also, the crazy thing is, too, I read Mihoyo and I'm like, oh man, this was insane. And then I was like, wait a minute, this new port, like the voice acting was new for that port. I didn't realize that the original didn't have voice acting, which, you know, makes sense. The original Fate Stay Night, original Tsukihime didn't. Like, Fate only got it when they got the Rialta Nua. But, like, the voice acting in Mihoyo was phenomenal and just, like, added so much to the characters. Especially Kana Hanazawa voicing the GOAT, Alice. She's the best. Because it was a PC game because it was like, what, 2012 or something? So, like, weird that it took them like a decade to literally just give it voice acting, give it a console port.
名前そんなのいちいち決めないけど。
Something I am cautiously optimistic about is, of course, the Ufotable movies. I say cautiously optimistic just because, you know, it's... I have mixed feelings on Ufotable adaptations, but I think by and large they're okay. Biggest thing though is like the biggest thing, my biggest concern, I should say. One of my favorite things in Mihoyo was like the smaller slice of life moments, and those are assuredly going to be the things that get cut for the movies. So like we're not going to have the scene with Kojika just talking to Sojiro about birds, which was one of my favorite scenes in that entire visual novel.
ドレスコードはそうね。氷河をまとうかな。
Let's not talk about the Heavens Feel movies.
そういうイメージで作ったわ。
じゃあグローブの力を見抜いていたら
キラーウェアをイメージしていたでしょうね。あそこは今も活動している火山だから。
Admittedly, I would love to see her in a Hawaiian style. Just Arcade full tourist mode.
ねえ、そろそろ着替えていい？力無駄に使いたくないし。
While I may be sad to see the dress go, I have no grounds to stop her. I tell her it's fine, trying to keep my composure all the while. Never say that last word that you just typed. Never say that word again. I'm warning you. You're right, I won't do anything, but still, it's... You know, people are like, God, fuck it. Fuck, you're right. You actually have all the power here. No, yeah, Nasu games just get better when you take the sex scenes out. And it's funny because, like, even they to an extent agreed, because, like, they just added them to make sure that they would, like, sell. Oh no, it's fine. I understand, like, it's all in good fun. Whoa. No, this is a console game for the Sony PlayStation 4. Can't be having any of those no anime boobs. A more compelling question comes to mind.
なあ、グローブとの戦闘服がなんでドレスなんだ？社交界に行くわけでもあるまいし。
社交界ってそういうものでしょ？
I mean, you're not wrong.
なるほど。
Yeah, that is true. You know, of all of them, the Hollow Ataraxia ones were definitely the most, like, serviceable. Apparently, vampire big shots spend all their time in each other's throats. I don't like going on the eShop. It is just a zoo. Also, the H scenes in Hollow Ataraxia are objectively the best one because they have a Rider one. And Rider is the GOAT. The hands of the clock have reached their zenith. While we were talking, midnight stuck up on us.
もう日付が変わっちゃうね。もったいないけど、そろそろ休んでもらわないと。
俺ならまだ元気だけど。
That one is funny. That one has humor value, not Not too much else, unfortunately, but anytime I see the word defenseless, like it's all I think about. I'm still good to go though. Okay, he does say at each other's throats, not down each other's throats. Very different sentences. I can understand the confusion if it was one or the other.
それはシキがそう思ってるだけよ。今夜はここでお別れにしましょう。どうせまた明日には会えるんだから。
Arkwade begins moving away with a little dance step, still looking my way.
明日って、ちょっと待て。待ち合わせ場所とかどうするんだよ。おい。
ここでいいよ。時間は10時頃がちょうどいいかな。おやすみなさい、シキ。また明日。
There's no stopping her. After offering a cheerful wave, she departs.
No.
It's weird, like with Arcwade's new voice, like sometimes I don't really hear it, but other times I really hear that she's just Kita from Boji the Rock. The mind wants to complain, but the heart just isn't in it. Definitely, so just fair warning when you do watch, if you do go back to those older ones, I did play the fan translation of the game up until, I believe it was you get to the hotel. That was up where I played the fan translation, and then I had only done that like literally a few weeks before they started the, or a few days before they announced the official localization, so I did take a break, but definitely still noticing like the new characters, like Arak and Goto, is that his name? The dude with all the bandages. Diz from Kingdom Hearts, you know. Dr. Arak is great. There's also that one salty girl with like purple hair and pronouns. She's cool. Changed how? Because everything's of course going to be like new sprites, and again also I am coming back to this, like, yeah, I think it must have been like, because I think I read Tsukihime after I read Fate Stay Night, and I remember I definitely read Fate Stay Night in high school, so. Oh. Curious. She may be trouble, but even more than that, she's cute.
なんだよ、今の顔。
Okay. I didn't know if that was just also them maybe moving him to a different room when he fucked up his bed. She's dangerous. How could I ever miss our plans if she's gonna look at me like that? It is still so funny, too, that they're like, Shiki, how the fuck did you break this bed? And he's like, I just cut the lines. And they're like, no, but like, for real, though, how'd you do it? I make it back to the mansion. Not a single light brightens the building. Alright, Hisui's gonna be standing right next to the door when we come in. The door isn't locked.
ちゃんと開けててくれたんだ。
I let out a grateful sigh. Are we experiencing the rebuild of Tsukihime? I will say the single biggest change, of course, you know, granted, Tsukihime had 12 songs for its entire soundtrack, and also, like, every background was just photos with, like, a shitload of filters. I'm appreciating how many subtle changes they have in, like, character sprites. I just put a new idea into your head, didn't I? You know, now that I think about it, Dr. Arak is very Mari-core. Another sigh, this time from relief, escapes as I settle onto the bed. Oh? You've put the pieces together. Arkwade was right. I am very excited for when we get to the CL route, because everything I hear is basically, yeah, the Arkwade route's good. It's like a big improvement on the original. And then everyone just is like, yeah, play the CL route. I'm not telling you shit about it, just go play it. It feels like the mattress is sucking me in. A quick question, because I forget, I don't know if like the day count is the same as in original Tsukihime. How many days are there total? Or like how many chapters for the Arkwade route? Do you, if you know off the top of your head? Just so I have a good idea, too, like, in terms of pacing. Because I do want to try and at least get through this at a decent pace. 15. Oh, that's more than I was expecting. So, yeah, we will, I imagine, too, that the earlier chapters are also maybe... I imagine those are slightly longer because those are also still part of the CL route, too. Because I did notice that the chapters seem to have been going a little faster. Like, even just a little bit. Still laying down, I let out a massive breath. Again, I'm working with Arcwade. Fate just keeps dragging me back into her blast radius. No, Shiki, it's Tsukihime.
でも仕方ないじゃないか。放っておけなかったんだから。
Or maybe I don't want to. Maybe I'm drawn to her, to all her beauty and all her inhumanity. How stupid of me. I've already killed once with these hands. So what am I losing my mind over? The whole reason I'm even touching this vampire hunting business is for the city I call home. I don't want to die, so I have to help out.
そうだ。それ以外、何がある?
I close my eyes. Glasses off. Sleep takes me over, a giant hand pulling my body and my consciousness into a deep darkness. Whatever happens, I'll be fighting alongside her again. The 18th reincarnation. Okay. Gonna lock that in. Steel trap. Right now, I should just get ready for tomorrow. I will say, not gonna lie though, having to wait however long to get this remake, I understand that, like, of course the game is made by a Japanese developer, so Melty Blood is going to have characters that are, like, inherently going to be spoilers. But man, there are certain characters where I'm like, oh cool, so now I know what's going to happen with that character. Like, I'm not going to know how it happens, but I know something's going to happen. Okay, cool, we're starting day 8. Ooh. It's red. Death perception. If Mystic Eyes of Death Perception is so good. Yeah. Her and also Mario. Literally a character I had no idea existed. So. The estate was our playground back then. A forest as deep and vast as the ocean. A house that looked more like a castle. Each day a new adventure would unfold in our kingdom. There was so much to explore. Okay, see, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for the fact that even though I know what's happening, the way it's, like, delivered is still going to carry it. And, I mean, it's Nasu. I mean, like, what can I say? Guy rarely misses. Every day was fun. We had no idea that we'd ever grow up. Doing the same things day in and day out, but never getting bored. We were just children, playing and yelling like puppies. Hey, listen, he's finally delivering on giving us the Satsuki route, so I can't even be complaining too much. You gotta wait another 20 years for the Noah route, sorry. We got along well. We were regular partners in crime. Akia was always there when I looked for her. I would wave at her, and she'd get all embarrassed and hide. I mean, yeah, I can complain about anything. I can find, no, I could find things to complain about, but I try not to. I try to be positive. Yeah, the same as always. The estate was our playground back then. A forest as deep and vast as the ocean. You know, for as much as I could complain about the new format, I'm honestly mainly going to complain more about fucking Konami TCG fucking just screwing over everyone outside the OCG. Because, like, it's always been a thing. They always, like, rarity bump, like, cards that they know people are going to want to play, but, like, it's just insane. It's really stupid. I hate how much, if you want to play, like, a meta deck, how much you just have to shell out. Like, every good card is just a secret rare now. It's like, oh, this card is seeing play in the OCG? Gonna be a secret. It's like Fiendsmith, the new hand trap, like, everything. And they knew the hand trap would be secret because we don't have Maxi, so it's like, yeah, of course we're gonna fucking play it. Ugh. That was my mini rant about fucking Konami, but... A house that looked more like a castle. Each day a new adventure would unfold in our closed little world. There was so much to explore. It's like, granted, it's pre-sale prices, but like, it's still not going to go down as much as you would want. Because Bonfire went from pre-sale of like 120 to being like 80, but that's still insane. I wake up from a peaceful slumber. The morning light pulled me from my deep sleep. My dream. I feel like I dreamed of something from a long time ago. Those horrendous things assault my vision when I open my eyes. My head feels like it's going to split open at the temples. It's a clear day. The sun bathes the garden in such a vivid light that I can even spot it from my bedroom. Rays of achingly bright sunlight illuminate every nook and cranny of my surroundings. My glasses. I can't see without my glasses. I need someone to draw Shiki in like a Scooby-Doo art style, like, stat. Oh my lord. There's no sensation in my arms or legs. I can clearly think of what I want them to do, but the signal doesn't seem to reach. It's like I've got locked in. Oh, he's got sleep paralysis. I suffer the time in silence, unable to even close my eyelids. Ugh. The sunlight begins to soften. Feeling returns to my arms and legs. Taking a deep breath, I finally manage to get my glasses to seal away that sight. Exhaling, I free myself from the bed's confines at last. That was nothing of note. It happened all the time during my stay in the hospital. Whenever I was exhausted, my vision would go blurry and my limbs would become paralyzed. My appetite would totally disappear too. Dude, that was peak fiction. Johnny trying to hit on Daphne, but only Velma's interested, and he's like, no, Velma, and I'm like, dude, like, you're Johnny Bravo, you don't get to be, like, picking and choosing. This is just what happens if I spend too much time looking at things with my naked eyes. God, I watched so much Scooby-Doo as a kid. I think I could see them more clearly than I used to. Yeah, this dude's anemic, and he keeps saying, like, oh, I'm, like, anemic, so that means I shouldn't eat food. And I'm like, I feel like, granted, I don't have anemia, and I'm not too familiar with, like, the symptoms and stuff, but I feel like it should be, like, the opposite, right? Like, wouldn't you be, like, lightheaded and stuff, like, if you don't eat? But I don't know. The lines on buildings have always seemed thin to me. It's rare for them to be that distinct. What was once just a lingering headache now feels like I took a bullet to the brain. I remember what Master once told me. She said my eyes could end up attracting unpleasant things. Arkwade also said not to use my eyes too much, that doing so would destroy my mind. This is what I get for involving myself with vampires. Not only do I have to face danger when I fight them, but now I've invited danger into my everyday life. Though there's no use dwelling on it. I knew this was going to happen when I decided to help Arkwade. Sitting around and doing nothing wouldn't be productive anyway. There's no stopping until Soya is free of vampires. I'm only helping her because I want to protect Akiha and the other people I care about. I quickly get out of bed, trying to clear my head of any unpleasant thoughts. I should get changed and thank Hisui for last... Come to think of it, Hisui isn't here. It's a little after 7. Hisui would usually be here to wake me up. Shiki is in fact the one who knocks. But my theory is swiftly rebuked when I notice there's a change of clothes prepared on my desk. Maybe she had something more important to do? I'm curious about what might have diverted her attention, but it's really none of my business. There's not much time to spare, so I'll just get into my uniform and head downstairs. Alright, important question. Who do you prefer between Hisui and Kohaku? This tells me a lot about you as a person. Specifically, whether you have good taste or not. Oh no, she's here again. Meeflet, you're spitting. Oh, okay, no, that was just like a flashback. NanoCloud, I'm going to recommend you play a fun little PC game called Tsukihime from the year 2001. And, I think you'll have I won't say fun time, but it's a good read. Excuse some of the awkwardness. It is, like, again, 2001. Sometimes I amaze even myself. I didn't actually play Kaigetsu Toya, I just watched a playthrough just because what was it? I did that like last year when I was like doing prep before doing Remake, because there were characters in that where I was like, what was it? Like Len, because I would played Melty and stuff, and I'm like, what the fuck is Len from? Sometimes I amaze even myself. Tsukihime actually has like a really good manga adaptation. I would never suggest it over reading the original, but I think it's a good substitute if you don't want to read a full-ass visual novel. You're not going to get every storyline, but still an enjoyable read. The fact that I managed to forget all about something as disastrous as yesterday has me genuinely concerned for my own well-being. Though worries about my mental health can wait until after surviving what comes next. I stand there at the open door, frozen like a sculpture and unable to venture inside. Meanwhile, in the parlor, Akiha is seated on the sofa, just like she was last night. Kohaku is standing behind her as usual. Up until now, Akiha has always greeted me with a "Good morning, Nissan." I'm sorry, but Aniplex, you can't get me to do that. But today she won't even look in my direction. Needless to say, this is all because I left last night without explaining anything about Arquaid. It almost looks like she's just lounging, but animosity is radiating from her every pore. You could cut the tension with her knife. Yeah, it's weird, like, he seems less like psychotic in like this killing scenes, like he seems less crazy, but in general, he definitely feels like a lot more weird, which is good. I like that he's a fucked up little blorbo. I love it, but like just very funny that it's like, yeah, we broke him even more. You could cut the tension with a knife.
おはようございます、シキさん。朝ごはんの前にお茶にいたしますか?
Yes, Kohaku doesn't have to worry about any of this.
おはよう、琥珀さん。お茶はまた落ち着いた時に。
I return Kohaku's greeting and enter the parlor properly. Akiha side-eyes me as I timidly cross the room. Can't let myself cave to her silent intimidation. It's times like these when a person's resourcefulness is truly put to the test. I should. Okay. Alright, flowchart. As I say, I'm assuming all three of these continue into the same scene, but it would be very funny if there was a dead end here for just antagonizing Akiha. It was just a prank, Akiha, trust me. I will say one of the funniest things about this remake was immediately them being like, okay, this is a game that was made in 2001 and now we're making it in the 2020s. How do we handle the fact that cell phones solve so many problems in like every story ever made? Akiha is just like a boomer and is like, Shiki, you should have a cell phone. It's like degenerate. Like I think she literally calls it degenerate, and so she locks it up. Thankfully, Kohaku, our eternal ally, gave it back to us like immediately, but still very funny. We will apologize immediately. Doubt I'm going to be able to talk my way out of this one. Anything I say is likely just to pour gasoline on the fire. My only option is to apologize as quickly and sincerely as I can. Better to say sorry before she can start grilling me.
昨夜のことだけど、あれは
兄さん、一つだけ忠告してよろしいですか？
Uh-oh. But before I can apologize, Akiha cuts me off, her voice cold enough to send shivers up my spine.
兄さんは遠野家の長男なんですから、いたずらに謝罪の言葉を口になさらないように。謝るということは、自分が悪いと認めることです。
I appreciate how much more intimidating they made Akiha in this. I think it helps that her neck is not giraffe length, but like still.
その場合、遠野家の長男に相応の罰則を与えなくてはいけなくなるでしょう。
Oh no. Force her? More like allow her. Just look at that wicked smile on her face. Give me a second. I need to find the Akiha sprite. Granted, it's not really that. It's kind of funny. Like here, go ahead and add the image. In certain sprites, her neck is longer than you would expect. People have edited it to make memes out of it, but yeah, Takeuchi, he, for as much as you can say about like the homogenization of his art style, I think his anatomy thankfully got a lot better. Because even still, like, I think there was like, God. There was a time period where I think his art really shined. I don't like his new art quite as much as like, how do I say this? It's like late aughts, early 10s. I think his style was really good. I think it's just a little too samey-ish now, but we were robbed. We were robbed of Buff Saber. The fact that they have the balls to have her say like, oh, my body, it must be so unsightly. And it's literally just like standard anime girl 12. And it's like, dude, come on. Yes, she is indeed built like a number 2 pencil. If I can't apologize, then all that's left is for me to perish. Okay. Time to get out before she kills me.
すまない秋葉。遠野家の長男として朝食を取りに食堂に行きたいんだけど、いいかな。
I need to retreat.
兄さん。
My feet stop dead in their treks at Akiha's glacial tone.
食事の前に話があります。どうぞ、ソファーに座ってください。
Her tone makes it apparent that resistance is futile. I've dug my own grave, and I do believe this may be my last day on Earth. Now that flight is off the table, my only option is to fight.
わかった。できる限り手短に頼む。
I quietly sit down on the sofa across from Akiha. Kohaku prepares a cup of tea for me as I do. She's giving off a positive vibe that helps cheer me on just a tad. Of course, Akiha may be the head of the family, but she's still my little sister. I don't think this will be totally one-sided. Listen, if you told me, like, I had a choice between fighting like a vampire and dealing with some of my relatives, I'm not saying I would immediately agree to fight the vampire, but I'm saying I would weigh my options. I take a sip of my tea and meet Akiha's gaze.
それでどんな話？
昨夜の女性と成功なされたのですか？
Just right out, huh? Yeah, I would really have to consider it at that point. Yeesh, I'm lucky I didn't burn myself. Akiha's first pitch was an unbelievable fastball. No, not cheeky Bill Clinton, no! Oh my god. Holy shit. I thought I was gonna choke on my tea for a second.
兄さん、私の話を聞いてます？
聞いてるよ。よく聞こえてる。
I think about that line too often. And it's like, you know what? Whatever, dog.
それでは答えてください。昨夜の女性について、できる限り正確に、嘘偽りなく、私を決して怒らせない範囲で。
Dog, if we said yes there, I think scar her for life, dude. We're not walking out of this room.
その条件だと何も口にすることができない。
私を怒らせないでと忠告したはずですが。
Oh, it's funny how obviously, like, she's also just like, she can be really intimidating, but then on specific things, it's like, she is very clearly just being the world's biggest tsundere, which I appreciate. I appreciate that it's like, it's not just the standard, like, not even like, I care what you do anyway, idiot, but like, actually, the classic tsundere of like, no, I'm actually just gonna be mean and antagonizing until, like, a point. I mean, you're not wrong. Wait, so that was a warning?
いや、無理難題の匂いがプンプンしてきたな。
なんです？声が小さくて聞こえません。もっとはっきりおっしゃってください。一体、あの女の方は、兄さんにとってどのような方なんですか？
どうと言われても、協力関係というか、友達のようなものというか。
夜中に出かけるほどのご友人なんですね。ええ、私だって兄さんが将来どなたと関係を持とうと意見する気はありませんけど、兄さんはまだ学生でしょ？遠野家の長男がどこのものともわからない女性と夜な夜な相引きをしているだなんて、そんな恥知らずなことは慎むべきではないでしょうか。
Instead, you should cavort around every night with me here at the mansion. So that's what my relationship with Arcade looks like to her.
待て、アキハ。まず初めに言っておくと、俺とあいつはそういう関係じゃない。俺はあいつの探し物に手を貸してるだけで、用が済んでしまえばもう二度と会わない関係なんだよ。
その割には随分と親しそうでしたけど、それは私の気のせいだと言うんですね。あの方とはあくまで一時的な損得だけの関係だと。
Tsukihime's cast is really good. I think it has like, because I really like I like Fate's cast, but there are also just like characters that I really don't care about. Like, don't get me wrong, I like a lot of them, but then like, I'm sorry, dude, you can't make me care about Issei. Like, Akiha's gaze is ice cold. All I'd have to do is say yes, and that would be the end of this conversation. But something is holding me back. Yes, Arihiko is the GOAT, as a matter of fact. Also, shoutouts to his sister. It's true that we're both getting something out of our partnership, but I also don't want to admit that that's all there is to it.
それは親しくはないけど損得だけで手を貸してるわけじゃないというか。
でしょうね。
Arcade, I've got to go get
今
some
まで見
cigarettes.
たこともないほどの慌てようでしたから。何事も真剣になってくれない兄さんが感情をあらわにするなんて、どういう風の吹き回しかと疑ったほどです。
Oh, she's just mad because he's like flustered over Arcade and not her.
そこまで慌ててないし白状でもない。あいつがうちに来るなんて思ってもいなかったから驚いただけだ。
そうですか。あの女の方は落ち着いた様子で兄さんのことをずっと待っていましたけど。
She gives me a sidelong glance, obviously trying to imply something. It looks like Akiha is fully convinced that Arcade and I are dating.
あのな、アキハ。勘違いもそこまでにしてくれ。そもそも俺とあいつが知り合ったのは
Because I killed her. Yeah, I can't really say that. I stopped myself before the truth slips out. There's no reason for Akiha to know, and it's not like she'd believe me anyway. Though I also can't think of another explanation. All I can manage is some half-hearted mumbling.
答えられないのでしたら質問を変えましょうか。先ほどから兄さんはあいつあいつと繰り返していますが、あの女性のお名前は？
名前はアルクエイドだけど。
そうですか。ということはお知り合いになったのは学校ではありませんね。兄さんの高校には留学生はいませんから。
Akiha, why do you know that? Akiha's right. We don't have any exchange students. But why does she even know? No, it's happening again. The thing is happening where I say a line and then the next line is Shiki saying the thing I just said. I hate how often that happens in visual novels because I feel like the writers are doing too good of a job of putting me in the headset of characters. Oh no, like Akiha would be crazy, like useful if Shiki was willing to tell her, but also like he has no good reason to believe he can tell her and things would be fine. Listen, I'm just glad it's happening in a Nasu visual novel and not an Uchikoshi one, because when it happens in a Nasu one, I'm like, oh, haha, funny. When it happens in an Uchikoshi one, I'm like, I need to re-examine my life if I'm like having the same thoughts as this person.
それで兄さんはあのような方と一体どこで知り合ったんです？
街で知り合ったんだよ。その偶然。
偶然ですか。ではアルクエイドさんの方から声をかけて。
Oh, Uchikoshi is a writer. He did the Zero Escape series of visual novels and the AI The Somnium Files games. The reason I say when I'm synchronizing with those characters I need to re-examine my life is because all of his main characters are weird, pervert, like losers. And so, like, even if it's not something perverted, when you're like, oh, I'm on the same train of thought as this person, I need to, like, seriously consider how I got to this situation.
ああ、いや、声をかけたのは俺の方だけど。
If by initiated contact you mean murdered in cold blood. She tracked me down after that, but I'm the one who started it.
どうして声をかけたんです？兄さんはアルクエイドさんとは何もないのに。それとも初めはそういうおつもりだったんですか？
Ia's interrogation is mercilessly precise. With every question, she's closing in on the truth. She's got me like a deer in headlights. And if this goes any further, I won't be able to lie my way out of it. Oh, speaking of deer, that reminds me I need to watch the new Noko Town once the stream's over. It sucks to do it this way, but I don't have any other choice. I have to end this in whatever way I can.
ああ、もうとにかくあいつとは何でもない。大体な、俺が何をしようがアキハには関係ないだろう。どうせ形だけの長男なんだから、誰と付き合ったところで遠野家に迷惑はかけないはずだ。
I don't think she's gonna like this answer. It's cowardly to use being disowned as my argument, but I can't think of another way to get Akiha to back up. Akiha narrows her eyes for a moment, then takes a deep breath as she stands. That's weird. I was expecting another sharp-tongued retort, but instead she looks away.
私だってこんなことは言いたくありません。ただあの人は嫌な感じがするんです。他の相手なら仕方がないと諦めます。けれど兄さんがあの人に気を許すのなら、なんだか私がバカみたいじゃないですか。
There's something unpleasant about that white woman. Shiki, she's gonna start teaching you about star signs. For some reason, Akiha bites her lip in frustration as she speaks.
どうしたんだアキハ。なんかおかしいぞお前。
もういいです。兄さんは兄さんのなさりたいようご自由になさってください。
Oh no, yeah, like it's one of those things where like outside of the story you're like, oh man, this is kind of fucked up to say, but also like when you realistically put yourself in Shiki's shoes, it's like, yeah, I get it. You got torn away from Miyako. That girl can destroy things.
もう四季さん、今のはひどいですよ。
I'm realizing now I didn't read that one. Akiha exits the parlor with uncharacteristically heavy steps.
もう四季さん、今のはひどいですよ。明葉様がおかわいそうです。恋人を連れてくるのでしたら、もっと普通の人を連れてきてあげてくださいな。そうすれば明葉様も納得してくださったでしょうに。
Kohaku heaves a heavy sigh and chases after Akiha. Bye, Hisui. Or, bye, Hisui. We were leaving. Hisui sees me off when I leave the mansion. I'm a little worried about Akiha, but I don't think running after her would have helped, considering the root of her hangar is Arcwade. Though I feel bad, it'll have to wait until this vampire business is over.
でもどうだろう。考えたこともなかったけど。
Is telling her everything an option? She may not believe me, but maybe I should tell her about the vampires. They do endanger all of Soya after all. I'm glad he's having this realization now.
そうだよな。例えばネットで噂話として流すとか。
Listen, you could not pay me to be mean to Hisui and Kohaku. They've been through enough. I take my phone out of my pocket as I walk. It wouldn't make for the most credible source, but I could write everything I know on some message board. Any interpretation would be up to the reader. Yelling at people to try to get them to believe you will only have the opposite effect, but if it's on the net, it may at least reach urban legend status.
もしもし、そこの君、ちょっと。
I recognize that voice. I stop, turning around. Oh, never mind. I thought that was Arihiko. I'm still not used to the new voices. Oh no. No, Shiki's not a Redditor. Shiki's a 4chaner. Or I guess, is it 2chan? Is that the Japanese one? Turning around, there's a sharp-dressed man I've never seen before. Okay, you know what? That's fair. Yeah, because... What the fuck am I talking about? I never watched... I don't even know if Arihiko showed up in Carnival Phantasm. And I never watched that fucking Tsukihime anime, so I don't know if I've ever heard his voice. Like, his old voice, if he even had one. This guy's voice does remind... It has similar, like, cadence. That's where I was, like, coming from, I guess.
俺のことですか。
うん、君。だって君以外にこんな道歩いてる子いないでしょ。
He's got a point. At most, the road leading up to the Tono mansion may see a couple cars passing by from time to time. Okay, this is gonna be like real. This dude is Adachi, but with like Kiritsugu's hair. Adachi from Persona 4, by the way. Like the same face. It's like those dead eyes. But the only ones actually walking the street are probably me and our housekeepers.
それでさ、 君さ、今この家から出てきたよね。もしかして中で働いている使用人さんの子かな。ならラッキーだよ。すごくラッキー。あ、俺じゃなくて君がね。お小遣い欲しくない？遠野家の人の話とかちょっと知りたいんだよね。
We love ourselves some bribery. I keep my distance. It's not because his overly casual way of talking bothers me. I'm actually more scared of just how serious he is. It's like every word is carefully crafted to ensure I'll let down my guard.
あ、もしかして野じ馬だと思われてる？まあ野じ馬なんだけど、ちゃんと報酬弾むよ。特に知りたいのは、ほら、最近帰ってきたっていう長男の話。来たばっかりで写真資料もなくてさ、どんな外見なのか、好きな食べ物とか好きな女の子のタイプとか、ぶっちゃけ何に弱いのか教え。
What? The man hops from side to side, holding his crotch. I'm sorry?
そこ
おう
を抜けた鍋かてめえ。どう見てもそいつが塔の指揮じゃねえか。
This dude's got drip. Alright, before we continue, or now that Mario's here, before we continue, I do actually have to run to the bathroom really bad. I should be back in no less than like 3 minutes. So I will go to BRB, and I will be right back. God, he's even wearing red. So goofy. And we're back. I'm glad. The one thing I remember hearing from the fan translation was like, man, this guy like swears a lot, or like because he just uses like super impolite Japanese. I'm glad that transferred. Very excited.
そこの抜けた鍋かてめえ。どう見てもそいつが塔の指揮じゃねえか。
Yeah, but it's like punchable in like a charming way. There's a child with him. Behind the man is a boy who looks about 12 years old. He must be the one who kicked him in the balls. True.
マジっすか。全くブルジョワの匂いがしませんよね。
どんな匂いだそれ。金に匂いなんてねえだろ。それとも手垢の匂いってことか。金持ちはどいつもこいつも赤だらけってか。ずいぶん舐めた発言だなおい。
Tell me rich people don't just walk around with like big sacks with dollar signs on them.
いえ、違います。成金だけ、一部の成金だけですってば。ほら、一日の半分を金勘定で浪費する氷菓子みたいな。
That, thank you for pointing that out. The like overall quality of this translation is far and away a step above Mihoyo. Namely too, like Mihoyo had some weird like translations for like names, like the way they spelt For example, the way they spelt Sojiro Shizuki, where it's like you added a Y where there shouldn't be, you took an H out where there should have been, or what was it, Mr. Yamashiro, or Mr. Yamashiro as the translation. But yeah, even then, like I remember like quote marks being out of place. I remember just like, hey, here's 2 words for a sentence that's like clearly way longer. So definitely been haven't had any glaring problems so far, which is I will always be happy about.
そりゃうちのジジイのことか。上司批判とは随分太いな、安藤。
What is happening? Maybe I should call the cops.
ああ、そこ無言で110番コールしない。なんで今時の若い子はドライに無駄なことばっかりするかな。ほら、俺これ。
Yes, Sojiro I kind of get. Like that one I'm willing to excuse. The Yamashiro one I'm not. And also the Shizuki is the other thing where I'm like, come on, there's clearly like an H sound there. I try not to think about Altria as much as physically possible. Nasu, I love you, but come on, man. I look up from my phone, already halfway through dialing the number to call the authorities. The man is holding out a black ID. It may be my first time ever seeing one, but I still recognize it as a badge.
警察手帳って、もしかして刑事さん？
そうだよ。怪しいもんじゃないよ。刑事さんだよ。警視庁捜査第一課、安藤優吾。なのにさ、昨日から門前払いでさ。こっちはちょっと話を聞きたいだけなのに、アポ取れって一点張りでさ。なんで仕方なく国道で張り込みしてたわけ。
I'm curious. I feel like I recognize this guy's voice. Give me a second here. Shuta Morishima. Okay, never mind. Never mind. This guy just does like card game anime, and not Yu-Gi-Oh, so I've never watched it. I've never seen a more suspicious detective in my life. Still though, regardless of whether that badge is real or not, I'd like to know more about why he's been staking out my house. What should I do? I'm curious. Let's ask. I'll try to figure out what they're doing. Unless I find out what they're after, I won't know how to deal with them.
俺でよければ話ぐらいは聞きますけど、要件は何ですか？
うん。北口駅前の火災のことだよ。
I love that. I love the little like pictures for like the routes.
ほら、当日と翌日まで現場を仕切ってた警備会社、お宅の子会社でしょ。もう引き上げちゃったけど、当日の責任者と話をしたいんだよね。連絡先とかわかる？
そうだったんですか。それは知りませんでした。ですので、俺には分かりかねます。
なに、長男なのに知らないの？そりゃ困った。やっぱり妹さんの方が実権握ってるわけ？
どうしてそんな話を？口頭無形だとは思いますけど、あの火災の原因は東野グループの過失だとでも？
そんな方針は持ってないない。ありゃどっから見ても自然発火だし。問題は別っていうか、まあ、お家の人ならバラしてもいいか。もう知ってるだろうしね。昨日さ、地下陥没の瓦礫の下からちょっと良くないというか、意味わかんないもんが出てきてね。鑑識もお手上げ状態でさ。あの土地だって遠野の持ち物でしょ。
Have a good night, Nano Cloud. I did start a little bit later, so that's fair.
記録だと10年くらい前に当の牧久が相場を上回る高額で買い取ったとある。
Makihisa Tono not be like a fucking cause of everyone's problems.
そのあたりの事情聞きたいんだよね。なんで駅前の一等地を買っておいて公園になんかしちゃったのかなとか。
俺には何とも。牧久は亡くなりましたので、話はそれだけですか。
いや、妹さんに取り継いでくれないの？ちゃんと身分と目的話したよね。
あいにく妹は忙しい身なので。
Yes, just
お一人ください。
wall them off.
話がしたいのなら、しかるべき手続きをしてからどうぞ。
I turn on my heel and start down the hill. Now I know what they're after. While I don't know the details, there's no way I'm letting such a shady detective meet with Akiha.
おい
A higher-pitched voice calls out to me. I was planning on ignoring him since he's with that weird detective, but something about the boy's voice makes me hesitate.
正義感も結構だが部をわきまえな。人間らしい死に方をしたいんならこの辺りが引き際だぜ。
なんだって。
That gets me to stop and look back. Did he say a human's death?
何が言いたいんだ君。
言いたいことは今ので全部だマヌケ。これで聞かなきゃ勝手に死んでな。ほら帰るぞアンド。いい加減食事時だ。ケーキ食わせろケーキ。チーズと蜂蜜たっぷりなやつな。
仰せのままに。なんで俺日本に来てまでボンボンのおもりしてんだろうな。
Strange pair get into a car parked alongside the road and drive down towards the station. Oh, for sure. Like, I could tell that he's definitely like, just like, he's using very impolite speech, and like the way to effectively translate that is probably like adding in swearing. And the fan translation, from what I did read of it, definitely seemed like a very one-to-one translation, like obviously cleaned up for readability and stuff, but it seemed like a very literal translation, which is good. Yeah, I would not be surprised. Because, I mean, also, too, the thing that still surprised me is, like, why did this take so long to localize? Because, granted, there is a lot of text, and I do appreciate the lack of errors so far. Probably actually makes me think they took a lot of time making sure there weren't as many, like, translation issues. And then I also have to remember that on top of this, the same staff that probably translated this also had to translate all of Lost Belt 6. So that probably also ate up a shitload of time for them, so I'm not going to give them too much time about that. Looks like the mansion was under police surveillance, and they said something about the land north of the station being owned by the Tono family?
いや、ただの偶然だ。
I love the, was it the Ruby text? Like, the little extra bit where it's like, this can be read as one of two ways, and it's like, ah. It has to be. The only reason that place collapsed is because Arkwade acted before thinking. There's no connection between what happened near the station and who owns the land. I gulp down the apprehension rising in my throat. Pulling myself together, I begin my long descent. That is one of those quirks of, like, Japanese as a language that I do really like. I would like to learn that language someday, but sadly, I don't really have the time or the money for that, because the only way to, like, really effectively learn a language is to, like, actually take courses on it. Because, like, you could do, like, a certain amount on your own, but, like, if you want, like, proper, like, actual understanding of grammar and stuff, like, you're gonna want, like, a teacher. And I wasted my time in college on French. The rest of my day has been normal so far. At least I can speak to CL. It's fourth period, social studies. Our teacher recites dry textbook material from the front of the room. As I listen to the lecture, I take full advantage of my window seat and stare at my reflection. I can't focus. It's not that the lesson is boring, I just can't wrap my head around everything that's happened outside of school. A fire that claimed so many lives. A vampire terrorizing our home. How can I sit in class while knowing the truth about all this? Oh, are we gonna get that funny rant he has about school? I remember that from the original, like, super vividly, where he's like, school's a fucking joke. It's a lie. The answer is obvious. I'm abnormal. Most people would either lock themselves in their homes or run away. Yet here I am, still trying to have a normal life. Trying to convince myself that vampires aren't worth giving up the life I've led up till now. But the truth is, I'd feel guilty giving this up. Goto jump scare. This guy is literally just... This dude is just Diz Kingdom Hearts. Like, color his eyeball like orange. And it is literally like the exact same, like, at least for the face. It makes me think about that conversation I had with Goto Saiki. To put it in his terms, education is an investment in one's future. Abandoning the future for a little safety now would be getting my priorities backwards. Besides, I'm living on the Tono family's dime. I owe it to them to at least show up to school. It's not just my duty, it's my obligation. I don't know if I'm being overly compliant or stubborn. Or just stupid. Master told me to become a person who does what he thinks is right. I intend to follow her advice. Having a normal life like this is part of that too. Who was Mio? If that might be a character I met, but I'm not sure if I got their name. I might not have, like, I might know who you're talking about, but I just might, like, not know their name. Oh, her. I've only met her on the subway, and then, like, that one scene where Shiki went, like, zombified and, like, almost went in, like, that dark alley. I don't recall her actually telling us her name, so... Maybe... Was there another scene where I could have talked to her? Because, like, maybe that's where she introduces herself. But okay. I will keep that in mind. That is good to know. She is very funny. I intend to follow her advice. Having a normal life like this is part of that too. I squint my eyes at the sun filtering through the window. There's only 20 minutes left until the end of 4th period. 5th period will be my last class for today. My thoughts drift to how I'll be working with Arkwade again once night falls. The face in the window's reflection smiles back at me. I wipe the stupid grin off my face. Oh yeah, I definitely want to try, for as far away as Red Garden will be, I definitely do want to try go in with, like, as little as possible. Or at the very least, like, until I get through the rest of this game here. Our nighttime patrols aren't for fun, so why am I smiling like an idiot? There's got to be a limit to my daydreaming. I've even started hallucinating about her now. I could practically see her, gracefully crossing the schoolyard. Oh, that would be fun. Do, like, a little, like, theory crafting stream once done with both routes. Because, yeah, things are definitely going to be... Because, like, things have already changed, like, a decent amount, even in the Arkwade route, where things are, like... People have said it's the most similar to, like, the OG compared to CL's, but... I am... Because I think with the Far Side route, they can do a lot more different things. Honestly, here's my big copium. My big copium is that the reason we haven't heard about the Far Side game yet is that they are simultaneously translating it in English so we can have a global release at the same time. That is my pipe dream. That is my copium. I'm going to keep huffing it until proven otherwise. Listen, I know it's copium. Just let me have this. I've even started hallucinating about her now. I can practically see her, gracefully crossing the schoolyard. Wait, are you freaking kidding me? I lean over a little to get a better look, careful not to interrupt class, or be noticed for that matter. Please tell me my eyes are playing tricks on me. Nope, not a hallucination. Regrettably, I'm still sane. Any way you cut it, this is reality. So the question becomes whether that damn vampire has gone completely bonkers. What am I supposed to do? What is she planning? Will my school life be able to survive if I leave her unsupervised? Deep breaths. Calm down. Everything's okay. The other students haven't noticed, and I don't hear any nearby classes making a fuss. Thankfully, it looks like she's only visible from this classroom. This goddamn weapon of mass destruction. Cradling my head, I curse her with all my heart. But that isn't going to help me fix this mess. There's 20 minutes until lunch. I can't even imagine the chaos she would wreak with that much time on her hands. I'll intercept her, focus on class, or ignore her. I think the only way we're doing anything meaningful here is if we intercept her. The goddess of war favors the swift. This growing calamity needs to be nipped in the bud. I should get her out of here before she causes some kind of trouble. Hands balled into fists, I single-mindedly make my way to the door. There's no time to wait for the teacher's permission. I slip out of the room while everyone's still trying to register what happened. Little running noises.
Ah, kita kita.
Sorry, I always pog whenever I see one of the Type Lumina stages in this game, because they're literally just like one-to-one, just like, yeah, we're just doing this screen cap. It's very funny.
そんな全力で走ってくるなんて、仕切ったら元気なんだ。
I stare at her, gobsmacked. Good word. When did she get here? She must have looped all the way around from the schoolyard to the courtyard. Thank goodness there aren't any classrooms facing this direction.
でも、学校って狭くてシンプルなんだね。外から見た感じ、もっと硬くて頑丈で、アリ塚みたいにバーッと広がってると思ったのにな。これじゃ普通の建物だよね。うん、子犬っぽい感じで私は好きだけど。
お前、ちょっと来い。
There's no time for pleasantries. I take Arcwade's hand and start running without another word. Our destination is behind the gym, far away from prying eyes. Will stand out too much if I lead her out the main gate. The back entrance is my best bet.
ちょっと、こんなところに連れ込んでどういうつもり？ここ、全然面白くない。
Arcwade isn't happy, but it's not like any part of the campus is fun in the first place.
どういうつもりか。そりゃこっちのセリフだ。お前歩く爆弾かなんかなのか。
歩く爆弾って
Oh my.
私が？
Okay, so I've seen the cat ear sprite. I have not seen this expression. This is... Oh my lord. That is so good.
そうだよ。それでも控えめな描写だよ。なんだって昼間から歩き回って、かつ俺の学校にやってきてるんだ。お前、昼間は弱くなるんだろう。傷だって治ってないよな。
それはそうだけど。
Oh, now her ears are sad.
四季が手伝ってくれるんだし、昼間のうちに手がかりを見つけておこうかなって。昨日みたいに四季に無駄なことはさせられ。
それこそ余分な気遣いだっての。協力すると言った以上、どんな作業だって一緒にやるんだから、夜まで待っててくれよ。俺を心配させて楽しいのか、お前は。
うん。ごめんなさい。
いや、分かってくれればいい。って、悪くエイド。
だから心配させてごめんなさい。
Aww. I could swear I just heard my heart emit a single audible thump. I, never thought she'd apologize. Honestly, I was expecting this to escalate. What am I even supposed to do if she's looking at me like that?
でも式も悪いんだよ。下からずっと見てたのに私に気がついてくれないんだもの。どこから中に入っていいのかわからないし、いっそのこと式のいるとこまで駆け上がるところだったんだから。
God, her head is empty,
いや
huh?
待て、駆け上がるって3階の俺の教室まで。
ええ、デコボコもあって足場には困りそうにないし、飛びやすいでしょ、あそこ。
I take it back. She's as clueless as ever.
助かった。そんなことされてたら授業どころの話じゃなかった。
I let out a relieved sigh. She probably went mostly unnoticed out in the
とに
schoolyard.
かく反省したんならいい。それでうちの学校に何の用なんだよ。手がかりを探しているとか言ってたけど。
何ってただの調査よ。ローラー作業ってやつ。死者の気配がないんだもの。足で手がかりを見つけないとね。
それはご苦労様。今が夜だったらなお言うことないけどな。
次からは気をつけるわ。それでこの辺りを歩いているうちに四季の匂いがして、そういえばここって四季の通っている学校なんだって気がついたらつい。
Sorry, I had to check my phone real quick.
校庭に入ってきたと。猫かと思ったけど犬かお前は。
失礼ね。ちゃんと確証があったからやってきたのよ。他の場所に比べてここは死者の気配がないんだもの。どんなものか実際に見ておかないとまずいでしょ。
いやまずくないだろう。死者の気配がないんなら関係ないってことなんだから。実際学校では事件も事故も起きないし、夜になると誰もいなくなる。死者が人間を襲おうとしたら学校じゃなく街に出るだろ
う。まあそういえばそうだけど。
ここに異常なんかないよ。吸血鬼の気配はわからないけど、俺だって死を見る目を持ってるんだ。
分かったわ。四季がそう言うんならここに異常はないかもしれない。
ないかもしれないじゃなくてないんだって実際。
Parkway doesn't look convinced.
やば、昼休みになっちゃったか。
Now that students will start wandering around outside, our hiding spot behind the gym just got a lot less secure.
とにかくこれ以上ここにいられるとさはちゃんと約束は守るから、お前は早く帰って体を休めておくこと。今日の夜にも敵とやらに出会うかもしれないんだから。
ふん、なんだか私を追い出したいみたいな口ぶりね、四季。そんなにここにいられると迷惑？
迷惑じゃないけど、いろいろ頭が痛いんだよ。気に入ったならまた都合のいい時に案内してやるから、今は早く外に出てくれ。
Push Arkwade from the back. Good expression. Arkwade makes to leave, though it does seem like there's a word or two she'd still like to say. Phew. The tension finally drains from my body as I sigh. I should go eat something to build up some energy for tonight. Huh? Did I just hear a sound from behind the bicycle rack? I casually walk to the shadowy section at the back. There's no one here. It was probably just a stray cat or something. Who could it be now? Find Arihiko in the classroom after I get back from lunch. He wasn't here in the morning, so I'm guessing he just came to eat. Imagine showing up to school just for, like, lunch, of all things. Right, I don't know how Japanese school cafeterias are, but, like, I don't know, man. Some days you would have to pay me to go eat at the school cafeteria where I lived. Arihiko's got no shame, even when he comes unfashionably late. If rumors of Arcade had spread through the school, then this guy would have definitely given me hell. I'm lucky that Arcade actually went home. Ooh.
かわいそうだけど、サイン券抜かれたら1枚10円で売られる CD なんだな。みたいな目で人を見るのやめてくれない？
What a way to describe a person. No, yeah, American school lunches are, not at all what I would really call appetizing. They are fuel in the truest sense of the word.
そうか、悪かった。ちょっと一悶着あって疲れててさ、つい本音を隠しきれなかった。次から気をつけるよ。
マジっすか？でも隠すべきは今の発言の方ですよ。
I love these two's banter so much. It's so real. Arihiko chatters away as he walks over to his desk and right past it towards the class's rear exit. This guy's actually gonna eat lunch and then dip.
じゃあ今日も一日ご苦労さん。俺はネット越しにたくさんの仲間とちょっと世界を救ってくるわ。
You going to play an MMO? Is Arihiko going to play Final Fantasy XIV with free trial up to Stormblood? Before he leaves,
北口駅前が物騒だって前に言ってたけど、それ以外にヤバめなところって言えばどこだ？
I throw out the question on a whim.
なんだい突然に。北口デパート並みにヤバめなスポットなんてそうそうねえぞ。強いて言うならあれか？串塚の廃病院じゃねえか？2年前までヤンキーどもの集会場になってたものの、今じゃ誰も寄りつかなくなったっていう。
串塚って二駅隣のか。でも廃墟が物騒なのは当然というか、普通誰も寄りつかないだろう。
いやだからさ、誰もいなくなったんだよ。ある日を境にぱったりと、そのヤンキーどもの姿がな。ま、こっちは階段レベルの話で、北口みたいな暴力沙汰じゃねえけどな。今じゃ不老者も住み着かない行政の不良債権みたいな場所だよ。
Wonder if anything suspicious is going on there. Nah, couldn't be. Okay, so this is the song in the OST that fucks me up the most. Because, like, this is one of the new songs. And they're doing the same, like, chord progression in the background. Here, I'm gonna turn the Elgato up just a bit so you can hear it more. They're doing the same chord progression in the background as you do for the Final Fantasy prelude. Like, it's not the exact same notes, but, like, the style of progression is the exact same, and so, it keeps screwing me up, like, really bad. Alright, we'll turn the Elgato back down. Our homeroom class is having a surprisingly difficult time deciding what to do for the school festival next month. Tune into Kagetsu Toya to see that school festival. Turns out that the girls and boys are split, so we decided to delay our decision to next week. After school activities are cancelled, and all students are leaving early. There's no point spacing out in the classroom. What should I do? I feel like this is probably gonna kill me, but, like, also, you're giving me the option, so, like, yeah, dude, I'm gonna go check out that hospital. I think I'll check it out. Not because Arcade sparked my motivation or anything, but because I might as well look into some of the most suspect locations during daytime. It's 2 stations away, so it's probably nothing, but it's not like I have anything else to do until night falls. Ah. It's a 20-minute bus ride from the terminal at Kushizuka Station. The hospital is then another 20-minute walk away from the nearest bus stop. My destination is in the middle of an industrial district. It's dead quiet out here. I can see how spacious it is even from outside the gates. It must have been quite a large hospital before it got closed down. I am recalling that, now that you mention it. Weeds have taken root in the cracks of the asphalt. One of the hospital wards seems to have incurred significant damage. It's falling apart. Was that damage caused by a fire? If it was, the difference between the damaged and undamaged areas is a little too extreme. The sky is so high here. There are no tall buildings on the horizon, allowing the blue expanse to stretch into infinity. It's later in the afternoon, but the clear sky is so bright and vivid, it makes my eyes hurt. The barbed wire is nothing to my knife, and my entry goes without a hitch, though I don't notice anything unusual. I brace myself and remove my glasses, but there isn't anything like the jumble of lines I saw in the zombie the other day. This place is just some abandoned ruin. In the end, it was a waste to come here, but I guess that's how investigating goes sometimes. I head back to the entrance and check the bus schedule on my phone. There's a bus in 10 minutes. I should be able to catch it if I run. I sigh in annoyance as I pass through the entrance, deciding that I'll make a dash for it. If at all possible, I would like to try and get through the rest of this chapter before ending stream tonight. Because I can actually go late, because I don't have work tomorrow. I arrive back at the mansion. The sun still hasn't set, which means Akiha likely isn't home yet. This would be far from the first time I've pissed her off, of course. I've been nothing but trouble since I came back. I'd like to tell her what's going on, but there's no way she'd believe this vampire stuff. Guess there's nothing left except to keep playing the part of the good-for-nothing brother. Didn't mean to click that, but that's fine. Huh. I wanted to at least give some kind of excuse for before. I'll just head back to my room and rest then. Hisui casts a fleeting glance over the lobby before continuing. Hisui looks me straight in the eye. She's seen right through my plan, though that doesn't surprise me. Hisui already knows that I've been leaving my room at night. It's only natural for her to assume I do it again. The problem now is how I respond to this question. As a servant, she wants to know what time I'll be home, but telling her is the same as telling Akiha. My response needs to be well thought out. Listen, I really don't want to have to lie to Hisui, so I will... Ooh, actually, you know what? Let me hop on the flowchart real quick. I'm curious. Okay, yeah, so those just lead here. Let's tell her the truth. I'll tell her the truth. Even if I lied, I wouldn't be able to keep the truth from Hisui or Kohaku for long. So I may as well let her know I'll be out tonight. That's right. There's a dangerous, mysterious vampire terrorizing our city, and Arquaid is the only one who can do something about it. Above all, Soya is my home. I can't just ignore what's going on. Hisui speaks dispassionately, her face as blank as ever. That's all there is to that, I guess. I nod my head to Hisui and start up the lobby stairs. I pause. Hisui calls out to me, her muted voice like never before.
その差し出がましいことなのですが、
You are right. Hisui is actually the only... If there was an alignment chart, Hisui is the only one that's even falling on the good section. Hisui clenches her hands as she looks over towards me.
四季様さえよろしければ夜に出かけることを明葉様にお隠しすることができます。
それって口裏を合わせてくれるってこと？
はい、夕食後明葉様はお部屋からお出になることは稀です。就寝前の見回りは私と姉さんがしておりますから、その報告を怠ってしまえば四季様のお部屋の様子は誰にもわからなくなります。
Isui's one of those characters where it's like, you really don't want to make her either sad or just flat out like disappointed in you. It's like,
いや、そりゃ助かる。助かるけど、いいのか？明葉は二人の雇い主じゃないか。
私の主人は四季様だと申し上げたはずですが。
protect this smile. The most subtle smile ever, but it's perfect. I really love like the really subtle emotional changes, like Hisui here, and the other really, this one is even more subtle, the really, really subtle sprite changes for Alice and Mihoyo, where like there are a few scenes where she like gets like the tiniest, the most like barely noticeable like small blush on her face, and it's like, it's literally like, I'm sure most people literally don't even notice it because it's so small, but I swear I like zoned in and I'm like, oh. Granted, that's also just because dude, like I need it so bad. That was the thing that I was not expecting at all. I'm like, oh yeah, Aoko and Sojiro, like from like when I'm first starting, I'm like, oh yeah, this is like a fun dynamic, and then like by the end I'm like, why am I like, why is Alice and Sojiro the one I'm like rooting for? That is good to know. Good to know there's other smart people out there who are creating the visions we deserve. I don't know about this, but I'm suddenly very happy that I decided to tell her the truth. Not only did she listen to my crappy reasoning, but she's even offering to aid me.
ありがとう、翡翠。そうしてくれるととても助かる。
それでは今夜からはこちらのカードキーをご利用ください。明葉様の言いつけで屋敷の正門の暗証を変えたのです。こちらのカードキーでしたら深夜でも正門の鍵は外れます。
お、さすが明葉。対応早いな。
And ruthless. That was close. If I had left without saying anything, I might not have been able to get back in.
私からの提案は以上です。夜の外出をお止めはいたしませんが、どうか怪我のないようお気をつけて。
But really, though, the only Mahoyo ending that's going to fully satisfy everyone is like the polycool ending, which I am also happy with. Hisui bids me farewell with a bow.
やった。
I just got help from an unexpected source. Now I can leave the mansion without worrying Akiha. I return to my room after eating dinner by myself. It's almost 10 o'clock.
行くか。
I pocket my knife and slip out of my room as quietly as possible. No one crosses my path along the way. Even the park is empty. People must really be afraid of the serial killer. Standing there alone is the woman in white.
四季
お、
I don't know why, but she starts yelling the second she sees me.
なんだよ。もしかして時間間違えたか？
そうもう何時だと思ってるのよ。約束の時間を10分も過ぎちゃってるじゃない。
10 minutes. I couldn't have been here at 10 even if I'd sprinted from the mansion. Though I guess Arcade was here right on time.
ああ、悪かったよ。こっちもなんとか10時に合わせたかったんだけど、こっそり出かけるのに思いのほか手間取ったんだ。お前が携帯を持ってたら。
As convenient as it would have been to message her, the sheer absurdity of texting with a vampire pulls me back to reality. Okay, I don't know why, but like, texting with a vampire, that specific phrase, I don't know why, that reminds me of either like, that is one of two things, either a light novel title or a Disney Channel original movie. Those are the only two things that sentence, like, brought to mind.
いや、なんでもない。次からはちゃんと時間を厳守する。今回は多めに見てくれ。
もうこれから殺し合いに行くのに全然自覚がないみたいね、あなたは。
Sorry, that power is reserved for really important things like whiteboards. Oh, hi, Sorbitus. No, yeah, that is like the perfect light novel title. She puffs up her cheeks in anger. She's not in a good mood. I wonder if it's because she got here early.
なあ、アルクエイド。何時からここで待ってたんだ？
私は起きてからすぐここに来たから、やってきたのは7時ぐらいかな。
He was waiting here for 3 hours?
7時って、じゃあ3時間以上も待ってたのか？
What was she thinking, coming so early when we agreed on 10?
うん、なんかおかしいみたい、私。
Arcade mumbles as if she's a little surprised about it herself.
まあ、遅れた俺も悪いけど、そっちにだって問題はあるぞ。約束の時間より前に来て、勝手に待たれても困る。
それとこれとは別問題でしょ。式が遅れたってことは変わらないんだから。
それはそうだけど、しかし、なんだって3時間も待ってたんだ。間違えてきたにしろ、それだけあれば部屋に戻っていてもよかったじゃないか。
そんなの私にだってわからないわ。なんとなく楽しいし、このまま式を待っていてもいいかなって思ってたら、いつの間にか10時になってただけなんだから。
I forget how, like, cataclysmically down bad Arcade is for this freaky little weirdo.
楽しかったって、なんで？
さあ、自分にだってわからないって言ったでしょ。式に殺されたせいかしらね。私、体のどこかが壊れて治ってないみたい。自分でおかしいって思うんだけど、体のどこがどうしておかしいのか点でわからないんだもの。
Is something wrong with your heart, mayhaps, milady? Ugh. Why'd I say that? I need to... Ugh. I'm not sure how to respond. I can't do much except apologize. I was the one who cut her up into 17 pieces. So if something isn't right with her, it's probably entirely my fault. 17 stab wounds.
まあいいわ。時間もなくなっちゃったし、無駄話をしている暇なんてないものね。
ああ、そう言ってもらえると実に助かる。
でも、次も遅れるようなことになったら、その時は直接家に迎えに行くわ。約束を守れないのは式の方なんだから、文句はないでしょ。
それはダメ。約束はちゃんと守る。守りますよ、そりゃ。けど、不測の事態はいつでも起きるだろう。時間に遅れるなんてのは、その最たるものじゃないか。なんで、間違っても二度とうちには来ないように。ただでさえ秋葉に誤解されたままなんだ。これ以上引っかき回されたら、マジで部屋を犬小屋にされかねない。
She keep like clawing at the front door to be let in, only to have to go into the doghouse as the rain comes in.
ふん。秋葉って式に全然似てない妹さんのこと？
They're laying it on a bit thick, but yes.
似てないは余計だけど、そうだよ。
そうなんだ。式はそんなに妹さんが怖いの？
あのな、どこの世界に妹を怖がる。
Afraid of his own little sister. I think the words, but choose to bite my tongue. I wouldn't say I'm afraid of Akiha, but I do find it difficult to interact with her.
単に妹には 余計な心配をさせたくないだけだよ。昔からあいつには迷惑をかけてきたから。できるだけこのまま何も知らないままでいてほしい。
なるほど。あの妹さんには優しいのね、シキは。
基本的に俺は誰にでも優しくしているよ。
Sure, dude.
最近になって例外が一人できちまっただけで。
それって私のことだ。
Yup.
わかんないやつだな。今褒めたんじゃなくて悪口ってやつな。
I'm gonna switch out controls real quick. Give me a second. There we go.
そうなの？でも私は式の例外ってことでしょ？私ね、そういうの嫌いじゃないんだ。
Arcade is still smiling. It's a carefree smile, like that of a child. My body feels weirdly hot. My temperature must have gone up. She's gonna overwhelm me completely if I don't take my eyes off her. So I make a show of turning my head away.
本題に入ろう、アルクエイド。昨日と同じように吸血鬼探しをするんだろ
と、そうだったわね。今夜はメガネは外さなくていいから、私の後についてきて。
We wander the dark city. Arcade seems to have a place in mind, but because she hasn't shared anything, it almost feels like a midnight stroll.
今夜はピンポイントで見てもらうわ。まずは騒がしい方ね。
She leads us into the commercial district near the station. We traverse the sleepless city, rich and vibrant even past 10. It's a veritable exhibition of modern culture. A buffet of light and sound. The white shadow, unchanged after untold centuries. Oh, that was still... okay. The white shadow, unchanged after untold centuries, makes her way through the city that's painted anew seemingly every few months. Untold centuries might be an overstatement. The phrase only came to mind because I've heard that vampires are immortal and long-lived.
シキ、あのビルを見て。6階建ての細い方。入っていく人間たちに線は見える？
普通だな。死者は出入りしてない。
外れね。次に行きましょう。はい、メガネかけて。先は長いんだから、あんまり無理しないように。
Like she mentioned this afternoon, Arcade has a good idea of where the zombies patrol. She wants to check out 6 places. The first 2 were a bust, but the third spot, a building with rentable offices, paid off. One of the security guards entering an unused office was an absolute cluster of lines. Arcade understood just from the look on my face. She had me wait in the hall while she entered the room, exiting casually just a minute later.
ごめんなさい。ここも外れ。低級の式だった。この辺りは昨日借り尽くしたから完全に警戒されたわね。
Arcade shrugs. She hides it well, but I sense that she feels discouraged.
何よ、ニヤニヤして。私の失敗が楽しいの？
Yes.
いや、違うよ。いつも気楽なお前でも気を落とすことがあるんだなって。
それどういう意味？私だって人並みに壊したり潰したりしますよだ。
I wish she'd phrase that as happy and sad, but that's just too tall an order for this vampire princess. We sneak out of the building and make for our next destination. It's just before midnight. We see fewer pedestrians, and the neon lights begin to shut off one by one. Car taillights pass us by. Arcade steps in time with them, as if to follow them home. We've now investigated 5 spots to no avail, which means we only have 1 chance left. We seem to be headed to a residential area. Arcade doesn't say anything, but I get the idea that she was saving this one for last for a reason.
しかし、分かってはいたけどまだるっこしいな。足で調査するしかないなんて、前時代的にも程がある。
昔から吸血鬼退治は面倒なものだもの。町のどこかにある親元の棺を探し当てるんだから、そう簡単には終わらないわ。
Literally a scavenger hunt.
そっか、ならいい。って別に嫌がってるわけじゃないぞ。単にアルクエイドも大変だなって思っただけで。
私は別に大変じゃないよ。決められた作業だもの。手順を踏んでいけばきちんと終わるものだし。
You know, as much as I am a fan of long skirt Arcade, the fact that we get tights, you know, silver linings. Here's the thing, I'm not sure about... Because here's the thing, a lot of the older designs, I think I just have that nostalgia too, because like, I think the one design, and this might be the hot take, I still really prefer old CL's design. And it's for like two very specific reasons. I think I like the round glasses, and I think I liked her hair better when she wasn't just MASH. I like her goofy-ass Harry Potter glasses. All I can manage in response is a, huh. Arcade is all business when it comes to hunting vampires. She'll do whatever it takes as long as it produces results. Oh, that would be cool. That'd be really cool. Just because she can leap 10 meters in the air doesn't mean she's itching to skip the legwork. Now that I think about it, it was the same when I first met her. She had fully integrated into human society during her search for vampires, even though she could have done what Vlav did if she'd felt like it.
なんだよ。人の顔をジロジロ見て、ちゃんと前向いてないと転ぶぞ。
やっぱりこれって不思議なことよね。ねえ、式は私といて平気なの？吸血鬼退治とか怖くないの？
は
あ？ F4M, seeking people with mysterious abilities to hunt vampires late at night. Reply if interested. A baffled grunt escapes my throat. She's asking me this now? Am I okay being with her? I don't even have to think about it.
別に平気かどうかなんてただの襟好みだろ。俺たちは利害が一致した協力関係なんだし。そりゃ吸血鬼は怖いけど、町のためなら我慢するさ。
Arcade accepts my answer with a faint nod. The conversation stops there. We walk through the empty streets in silence. We're far from the station now. These 2 hours haven't been very productive, but somehow it doesn't feel like we've wasted our time. Even if we didn't address the root of the problem, we've at least stopped it from getting worse for today. I don't know why I like went halfway between weave and weir, so like I made that weird noise. That was fun. That must be the reason behind this strange sense of accomplishment.
でも気を使わなくていいのはいい。
I finally give voice to a feeling I'd never expressed.
式？
だから気楽だってこと。俺はその根本的にろくでなしだからさ。お前みたいに頑丈なやつがいてくれると、なんていうか。
I feel truly at ease. Everything I see is broken. How I look at the world is polluted. I shouldn't be here. When I'm with her, it feels like the conclusions I've come to these past 7 years begin to fade. Aw. It's actually really sweet.
ねえねえ、それってつまり私が式を楽しくさせてるってこと？
逆。あのな、おっかない吸血鬼と一緒なんだぞ。災難極まってるだろ。気が楽っていうのは、どう転んだって今以下にはならないってことだよ。
おっかないってどの辺が？
山ほどある。殺しても生き返ってひたすら追いかけてくるとか、3000度の高熱をあちちで済ますところとか、ガムテープとかビルの屋上まで駆け上がるところとか、駅前をお釈迦にするところとか。
This is such a powerful sprite still. Like, oh, I never That's for posterity. I never got one. And you gave everything you had to protect me and the town from Vlov's ice. Of course, he doesn't say the nice thing outside. Or, like, out, like,
人の体によく
externally.
わかんないものを塗りつけたりとか、あと昼間に学校に来るところとか。
はい、そこまでで結構です。四季の気持ちはよくわかりました。
いいのか？まだもうちょっとだけあるぞ。
Rose like, I'm not done.
いいわよ、自覚あるから。ふんだ、どうせ私は吸血鬼ですものね。
Arquade picks up her pace, walking briskly ahead of me.
待てってば。お前が本気になったら追いつかないぞ、俺。
I follow her, half jogging. Turns out our 6th destination was just up ahead. There it is, in the middle of the neighborhood. A typical 4-story apartment complex. Nothing out of the ordinary. There look to be 4 apartments per floor, with lights visible in most of their windows. The people who live here are still awake, spending their time as they please. But as someone looking in from the outside, there's no way of knowing whether that involves any shady business. She does indeed like his verbal abuse. I look at the lines. The strain it puts on my brain makes me nauseous. This place seems wrong. There's nothing unusual about the lines running across the building, but it feels somehow lifeless. There's something unnatural about the brightness emanating from the interior, or from the strangely concentrated lines of death scrawled across the woman just now entering the apartment complex. She is in Fate Extra. Only Fate Extra, the first one. She's a berserker there. She is literally like, she's basically Red Arc mode where she like just doesn't talk at all until the very, very end, and then she's like, haha, yeah, I'm Arcwade, bye. Honestly, a bit disappointing. Kind of like most of Fate Extra 1. There's a possible way, so if you have played Fate Extra, because Fate Extra has 2 different routes. There's the Rin route and the Ranni route, and those actually, there are 2 different like servants. So like if you go one route, you'll fight these 2 servants, but if you go the other route, you'll fight 2 entirely different servants. I did enjoy what I played of CCC, because BB is cool. But yeah, that's like the one really neat thing, or not really neat, it's like kind of cool. I don't think it's justified for like playing through the rest of Extra again, so like yeah, Extra 1 is CCC, at least from what I played, might be one of the funniest games ever made, so I need to get back to that at some point. Shout out to the Tosaka Money is Power system. Incredible.
So, やっぱり当たりね。
Instead of going to the entrance of the apartment complex, Arcwade heads down the slope leading to the underground garage. The garage is guarded by a metal shutter.
普通のマンションだけど、ここなのか。
ええ、このシャッター、人よけと消臭の結界がかかってる。あれはカメラかな。私の姿を捉えてるけど、中の死者たちにもう逃げる時間はない。
Bending down, she places her hands under the shutter. Is she really gonna pull the shutter up by...
シキ、このシャッター切れる？
そりゃ切れるけど、いいのか？
ええ、私よりシキが敵に。無理やり開けると警報が鳴るでしょ。
Good point. Arcwade is pretty good at keeping her cool under pressure.
シキはガレージの入り口にいて、ここが巣なら中には10体近いアンデッドがいるはず。相手が1体だけならシキの方が強いけど、2体以上になると不利でしょうから。
別に俺はそこまで。まあいいか。わかった。切るぞ。
I cut along a line on the shutter. Metal meets concrete with a clatter. I peer into the pitch black through the opening I just cut.
なんだこの匂い。
A foul stench hits my nostrils. The garage reeks of rotting meat and rancid blood. Ugh. Ugh. I see several squirming clusters of lines within. The sound of the shutter being sliced open seems to have caught their attention. There are 22 of them. With this many undead, there's no doubt that their sire is here with them too.
アルクエイド、予想より数が多い。ここが根城なんだろう。ならやっぱり俺も。
ここは根城じゃないわ。ただの食堂よ。大丈夫。起きたばっかりの節なんて虫みたいなものだし。シキはそこで待ってて。すぐ片付けちゃうから。
Arkway just went like Muso mode. She's like, "Don't worry, Shiki. I'll just do my square, square, square triangle combo, and we'll call it good." My brain has difficulty keeping up with the incomprehensible scene in front of me. Something so beautiful yet so grotesque, like a figure skater performing in a graveyard full of decay. A throng of undead approaches their guest. She conducts a symphony of snapped bones with a single swing of her arm. A cacophony of fangs clattering to find their prey, the sound of splitting flesh, and somehow, even within the mist of gore, a white shadow, untouched by a single fleck of blood. It takes my breath away, no matter how many times I see it. Of course. These corpses don't stand a chance against... Yes. Yes, as a matter of fact, she is simply doing her melty combos. Their abilities are too mismatched, their viewpoints too dissimilar, their very existences reside in different dimensions. As if the word unparalleled was coined for her and her alone. To Arquade, these vampires that exist only to drink blood must be no different from humans. They're prey, and nothing more. Another current of pain runs through my brain. It's what I get for going without my glasses for so long, but I can't put them back on yet. Arquade may have said she could take them all on by herself, but there are still more than 10 of them left. It will take her less than a minute to deal with the rest of them at her current pace, but just in case Something is wrong. Arquade's movements are slowing. She hasn't been injured. The zombies can't even get close to her in the first place. But even still, her face appears to distort with pain with every enemy she rends. All of them fall to her terrible onslaught. The next thing I know, there's only one left. This shouldn't require excessive force. A zombie this caliber ought to perish in a single slash of her claws. And yet... Perhaps seeing the fight's end, the white silhouette pulverizes the humanoid, holding nothing back. It's over. Standing center stage of the carnage is Arquade, her breath still ragged. She finally loosens her shoulders. That idiot. I don't know what was going on in that head of hers, but she exhausted too much of her strength. She could have used a tenth of what she used just now and still finished things without breaking a sweat. I quietly call her name from the entrance.
あ、どう？見ててくれたしき。今夜はこれで終わりだし、あなたの前だし、いつもより張り切ってやっちゃった。
I thought something was seriously wrong, but no, this bitch just wanted to show off.
こんな物騒な張り切っちゃったとか初めて聞いたぞ。
I sigh. She really is a troublemaker. How am I supposed to respond to the idea that she just wanted to show off to me?
確かに、ち
Oh,
ょっと見とれたのは事実だ。
Huh. Bro looks like a fucking beta from Muv-Love. The cheerful mood is cut short. My thoughts cease. My mind blanks. Something strange and unspeakable draws my attention. When did it get here? Or rather, how long have I failed to see it? A panther appearing in a back alley. Flaming corpses. Ah, this song. Ah. Dead things in the form of human beings. I've seen my share of abnormalities these past few days. I've experienced a lot of things for the first time. Yet those were all based in reality. They were variations on what I know, mere extensions of common sense. This thing is different. The air it exudes is too irregular, its classification too deviant. Its very existence is born of some indecent process. It belongs neither here in Soya, nor in Arquade's world. Ugh. It's shaped like a person. Its stench is like that of the zombies. But humanoid as it is, it's discarded any claim as a Homo sapiens. I don't sense any respiratory functions. I can't see how it would react to light. Yet, my instincts grasp that this beast is just built to be a predator. While I've never seen anything like it, it does remind me of something I know. A spider. My mind is still frozen. I can't quite remember how to work my throat. The muscles in its abdomen flex and ripple. I don't like this at all. Oh. Oh no, please tell me those things don't have like mouths that open up. The massive bulging flesh isn't body fat, but many muscular arms. Strange, fleshy tubes, like writhing invertebrates. The moment I recognize it for what it is. God damn it, why was I right? Ugh. I shout. Arquade turns to look, sensing the aberration behind her. The monster's tentacle shoots out like a whip, cracking at the back of Arquade's neck. It's quick, but not quick enough to catch Arquade completely off guard. Arquade's claws fly to meet the limb of flesh, the same claws that cut through the zombie's flesh as easily as scrap paper. But her rending claws are unable to sever the scourging tendril. Rather, the deflected whip keeps its inertia, brutally lashing across the woman's back. I hear a trigger fire at the back of my skull. This zombie is an aberration. That's one thing. Its skin is unusually resilient. That's another. The zombie is on a different level of repugnance. That's yet another. But more than anything else, its second and third arm threaten to come down and end Arquade's life. No way. That's stupid. She's stupid. If she hadn't pushed herself, she would never have gotten into this position. This is ridiculous. She's injured again. Cornered. Up against a wall. Her breathing is ragged. She's taking hits even I could avoid. Thank God I'm not wearing my glasses. I probably would have broken them in anger if I was. The aberration leaps into the air, seemingly enjoying itself. A vulgar grin pulls at its lips, having found prey it wouldn't normally be able to hunt. This is a lot. Fuck you. Fuck you. That's mine. It's my fault. That's my job. I killed her. I brought her down. But she still forgave me. Trash like me, who killed her for simple pleasure. And now? Don't touch her with those disgusting things. I cut. Without thought, without wasted movement. Like an animal driven by pure instinct. Am I running? Is it chasing me? That's fine. There's no hesitation in my steps. A second strike from the beast, short and fast unlike the first. The equivalent of a jab in boxing, an action that maximizes speed with minimal movement. Not particularly powerful, but too fast for the eye to register, too fast to react to. So I react to it. But that's not an issue for me. If I can't dodge it, I can just cut through it. I pursue the figure in front of me. Crimson cluster of tightly packed lines of death. Without even thinking, I'm slashing a potent line. There goes its left leg, dead, despite how wary I'd been of it before. Now all I have left to fear is its bite, but I'm already close enough to reach. I stab the point thrumming just up into the right of its navel. There are no death throws. Oh, dude, the aura is insane. The aberration simply collapses to the ground, like a mechanical doll with its batteries removed, like a puppet with its strings cut, baby. Let's go. Yet another version of this metaphor. I finally let out the breath that I've been holding all this time. I'm surrounded by lumps of rotting flesh. The thing I killed is gone, vanished into ash. Considering the bodies of the zombies killed by Arcwade still remain, it seems that this one was indeed special. But I killed it. I snuffed the life out of the aberration without faltering for a second. My mind still won't process things properly. This was pure violence, a mad rush, without a single thought spared towards the lessons that Master taught me, an action fueled by the murderous rage I've tried so hard to quell. Regret, remorse, hatred, despair. It will all return with a vengeance once I've calmed down. But I'm fine with that. I am. As long as Arcwade is safe. No, it definitely wasn't. That thing was freaky. This is the first time. Just now, I used my power to save someone. In full control of myself and with no hesitation. I look back. Okay, there's a typo. I look back to find Arcwade breathing heavily, her shoulders trembling.
大丈夫かアルクエイド
I'm at her side in an instant. She holds her heaving chest like she's in pain, like a suffering animal that knows nothing but how to gasp for air.
Baka, 油断しすぎだあんな考えなしで暴れるから大丈夫か体の傷開いちまったのか
Her back is shivering. This is bad. For one, she's completely drenched in sweat. Worried that Arcwade's hurt herself, I lean in to take a good look and... Bitch.
おい
もう仕切ったらけだもの今のすごいちょっとすごすぎると思う
That is the first, like, really big typo I've noticed. So you know what? It's fine. Now this is just cruel. Arcwade wasn't doubled over in pain. She was trying to hold back her laughter.
嘘泣きとかお前人間社会に毒されすぎてないかというかそうだよな心配した俺がバカだった頑丈なお前があれぐらいで痛がるはずないもんな
あ、ひどい痛いのは本当だったんだからあとちょっと追い込まれていたら誰かさんに切られたお腹がまた開いていたところよ
That's not fair. No matter what I say, I'm still to blame, so I accept my defeat in silence.
はいはいわかりました俺が悪ございましたともさっきのバカ笑いはどうあれお前が無事でよかったよ
My mouth opens fire before I can help myself. And after I do, she's back to wearing that usual enigmatic grin.
なんだよまだ何かあるのか
うんそれと嘘泣きじゃないよ嬉しいのも本当だって式がすごく頼りになるんだもん
My cheeks are burning. I turn away to try and counter the sudden ambush.
何どうかした式
どうもしてないちょっと暑いんでほら
Bro. What an excuse. That was genuinely terrible. Though for now, I can't bring myself to look at Arcwade. I bring my hands to my face to hide my burning cheeks, but it only serves to heat them more. What's with that look? And what is she thinking, as if being good at killing is something to be praised? Read the room. You're evil, a witch. Why the hell am I still happy about it? I need to calm down. Chill the fuck out. God, these two are like
よし、落ち着いた。
fucking perfect.
これからどうしようか。ほら、ここが敵の本拠地じゃないにしても、中に入って手がかりを探すとか。
そうね。人が来る前に調べてもいいかも。棺の手がかりはないでしょうけど、他の食堂の場所が。
I can't do this. The throbbing in my chest won't calm down. My face is burning up. Oh. Oh no. Hey there, Minato boy. Yes, Shiki is. I feel like he's so much more soon in this game, and I love it. If I'm remembering right, is this where? Is this where, like, you know, that scene happens in the original, like the no scene, the bad, the Shiki no scene? No? Okay. Thank God. I'm growing more lightheaded by the second. Arquade's voice feels like it's passing me by. But what am I supposed to do? Anyone would be smitten being told with that kind of smile. Oh yeah, no, it's... I know there's nothing that bad, but I was just curious if, like, this is where it takes that... Like, if it takes this place here. The pain in my head, the heaviness in my arms and legs, it's all because of...
シキ、ちょっと大丈夫？すごい熱。あの死者、そんなに見えにくい相手だったの？
いや、そんなことはなかったけど、お前、なんか、近くない。
I can barely move my head. I'm conscious, but my brain feels like it's stuffed with cotton, completely dulling my senses.
ここの調査はやめて休憩にしましょう。どうせ手がかりなんて残さないやつだし、今日は食堂を潰せただけで十分よ。これだけの働きありを失ったらしばらく活動はできないし、もう自分から外に出てくるしかなくなるわ。
I will say the biggest miss in terms of, like, new Tsukihime designs, give Roa back his locks. Give that man back his luscious L'Oreal hairstyle. She pulls me away by the arm. I nod vaguely, and we leave the garage and the sea of body parts within. I rest on a bench. Full feeling returns to my arms and legs after about 30 minutes. I didn't notice it myself, but it seems that staring at the aberrations lines really did a number on me. Arquade stands in front of the bench. She's been staring at me since we arrived.
あのな、アルクエイド。めまいも消えたんだし、そのいかにも俺が悪いって顔はもうやめてくれ。そもそも、あの時はああでもしないと傷が開いたんだろう、お前。
Yeah, Kohaku could have done a lot of things, but instead it's funnier to let it escalate.
あれは言葉のあや。あんな編集ぐらい何とでもできたわ。そんなことよりあなたの体よ。昨日の話ちゃんと覚えてる？
目を使いすぎるなって話だろ。わかってる。
はあ、鈍感にも程がある。あなたに危機感を植え付けるのは難儀そうね。ま、一番身近にして最高級の死に慣れているんだから、それも当然か。ほんと、どうしてやろうかしら。一度思いっきり怖がらせてあげましょうか。
I am very excited for the CL route, mainly because I also, like, I have explicitly not done mini CL, like, scenes, even in the Arquade route, just because I want to save them for the CL route, because otherwise I would literally just be doing them again, so I'm very excited for more Funny Curry Senpai. Why is she so resentful about this? Can someone explain it to me?
最高級の恐怖なら、お前に追いかけられた時のでお腹いっぱいだよ。この目が危険だってことも、言われなくとも分かってる。
I've lived with them for 7 years
さ
now.
っきのだって、 いつもならめまいは起こさなかった。あれは単に。
I don't think it was from looking at the lines too much. I was just overwhelmed from everything with Arcwade. Oh, quick question. Like, no, like, spoilers or anything, but do the different routes have, like, because I know, like, in the original game, like, some routes would have, like, true routes, true ends, normal ends, or, like, happy ends. Is that the same thing here, or is it just, like, does each route just have its one end? Just curious.
単に何？
単に歩き尽くしで疲れていただけだ。お前は平気だろうけど、人間は疲れるんだよ。2時間歩きっぱなしだと。
Okay, gotcha.
それならいいけど、四季ってたまに自分を客観視しすぎてない？その魔眼のせいで自分嫌いになってるとか？
God, the CL good ending from original Tsukihime is, like, so funny. Ah, that would actually be really cool. Because then also, too, you have to do you'll have to do the Eclipse in Red Garden. God, Red Garden's gonna have a lot. Because you'll have to do the Eclipse where you meet Aoko again.
いや、自分が嫌いになれたら、目のことで悩んだりはしないだろう。言っておくけど、俺は自分のことも周りのことも。
CL good ending is literally just like, we are now a harem anime.
そうなんだ。ちょっと意外。
Sure it is. But this is a question of dignity, of having a place to belong. Someone once said that even a person like me has a reason to live. That's why I don't want to fall into despair, or hate myself. It may be a small thing to live my life by, but it's brought me this far.
それに、この目だってそんなに悪いことばかりでもないし、裸眼でいると色々と不都合があるけど、食欲が薄れるのは手間が省けて楽だよ。もともと小食だから相性はいいと思う。
魔眼による食欲の減少と持って生まれた消化機能の関係は私にはわからないけど。
ああ、いや、ごめん。今のは冗談というか、本気で取られると恥ずかしいというかですね。
真面目な話よ。あなたの目は後天的なものと言っていたけど、それは現れるのが遅かっただけの話かもしれない。
Sachin, my beloved. Okay, I've been going for about 3 hours. I really wanted to try to get to the end of the chapter, but I'm feeling very tired. I did have work today, so I am probably gonna have to call it here. Let's drop a save. We will be back with more Tsukihime next week, because tomorrow I'm not streaming. Friday is Kingdom Hearts 2 Rando, and Sunday we're doing Broke Boys Yu-Gi-Oh! With Bloomin' and Frost. Thanks to everyone who dropped by. Let me see if anyone's live to raid. I'm sure someone has to be. Ooh, Dai is live. Let's send you guys over to Dai. Dai is playing some... Playing some SMT5 Vengeance. That game is really cool. So, you guys want to go over, hit him up with a follow, and be gentle people. You all have a good rest of your evening, and I hope to see you here on Friday. Friday is the next stream, so see you later.